Hi Shiv, welcome once again to this one-to-one call. Very excited
Thank
to
you,
have
sir.
you here. So today I'm going to show you a quick demo of my Mystic indicator setup, right? Especially, since you mentioned that you are a day trader, I'm going to explain what is a typical scalp setup that I use, right? And I'm going to use Nifty. As you can see, I have a 2-minute chart. You can also use a 3-minute, but I sort of find 2-minute as a good enough time frame because the moves that we are getting in Nifty is very sharp and furious, right? Within like literally 3 to 5 or maximum 8 candles, the move is
Mhm.
almost done, right? And hence, if you have to capture such very sharp, volatile moves, it is important that you switch to a smaller time frame, right? And it is better for your risk management, better for you to analyze the chart patterns that is forming in front of you, and hence I personally prefer the 2 minutes time frame. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now, this strategy, the basic foundation strategy, right, that I teach to everybody who takes my course, and this is the absolute uh, beginners one, right? And it requires two of my indicators. Obviously, the indicator is there to give you additional information. It is not the only thing that you need to trade, right? You definitely need to understand market structure, a little bit of Dow theory, a little bit of support and resistance concept, a little bit of price action patterns, right? Like higher
Yes, sir.
high, high, what is a double top, what is a triple top, right? And things like that. You need to know what is a breakout and things like that. Basics, right? And if you don't know, there are, courses available and I definitely forward them for because this is suitable for traders who at least have a couple of years of experience, so that I kind of assume that at least they know basics of price action, at least they know basics of options, right? They know what is an options premium, what is intrinsic value, what is an ATM strike, right? What is out of the money, what is in the money. I
Yes, sir.
don't teach those
Mhm.
absolute basics. I can forward you articles or tutorials. Zerodha Varsity is a very good place. In fact, if anybody is a trader, maybe they should first start with Zerodha Varsity. I mean, they created it long back, and it is one of the best and very beginner friendly, very plain English language, written concept. So if you don't know the basics of options, definitely go there. So assuming that you know the basics of options and price action, right? You are definitely qualified for my courses, and that is what I teach. So the foundation strategy is basically, you can say a trend following strategy, because as an option buyer, you need a trend, right? That is what you're going to trade, right? So whenever you get a trend,
Yes, sir.
you are going to make money, right? Now, as you see, there are two indicators on the screen. The first one is scalper, and let me quickly explain what is this. Basically, it's a technical indicator that is built by me, and it's a proprietary indicator. So I have combined a few technical indicators to you know generate what you call what is a trend, right? To identify a trend, right? The first and foremost is the central pivot range. Do you know what is a CPR, central pivot range?
Yes, sir.
So central pivot range is, you can think of it like an balance price, right? Or a balance zone. It is basically calculated, let's say for a day trader, it is calculated using the price of previous day, and it specifically takes three components, which is the high, the low, and the closing price of yesterday, which means for today it is constant, right? So these three lines that you're seeing on your screen, can you see these three lines? I will switch off the other one so that you can focus. So this is what is the CPR. Maybe I'll just enlarge the screen also so that it is clear to you. So this is three lines. The central line is the central pivot, and this is called the top central, and this is called the bottom central, right? So this is called, the three comprise together what is called the central pivot range. The range, because it is plus and minus, right, from the pivot. That is why it's a range, right? Now you will
Mhm.
understand one important quality of this pivot just visually looking at it, right? What do you see? Sometimes the pivot is very wide, correct? Like yesterday,
जी,
इज वेरी वाइड और नॉट रिलेटिवली, आंखों से जो
yes, sir.
दिख रहा है, ये ये बहुत मोटी दिख रहा है, राइट? and ye bahut patli, right? So it is very thin and this is very fat, correct? Now there is a little quality to that. Whenever the CPR becomes thin, that is the first indication that today can be a trending day. Okay, and whenever you have such a fat CPR, and especially since price is trading within the CPR, those days are best avoided if you are a trend trader or if you are a buyer of options. If you are a seller of options, then you can sell on both sides and you can eat the premiums, right? That is
Uh,
perfectly fine. But for option selling, you need double the capital. For example, my theory is, and my recommendation is that for every one lot of Nifty option, you need to have 1 lakh capital if you are a buyer,
uh,
right? If you are a buyer, you need 1 lakh per lot of Nifty. But if you are a seller, you need minimum 2 lakhs or maybe 2.25 lakhs per lot because selling is expensive, right? The margin
yes, sir.
requirement is very high and the risk is also very high, and that is the reason the margin is very high, right? SEBI has purposefully done that, right, to sort of prevent traders from selling options, because selling options comes with unlimited risk if you understand the the PNL that is possible, right? Whereas with buying, your risk is limited to the premium that you are paying. Let's say if you are buying an option worth 100 rupees and your lot size is 75, right? 75 into 100 is 7,500. That is the premium you are paying to buy one lot of Nifty, right? At 100 rupees. So that means your risk is also 100 rupees, 7,500 rupees, not more than that.
Yes, sir.
Maximum risk you are
Maximum.
taking is that much. Obviously, you are not going to take that maximum risk, but if you are selling, maximum risk is unlimited. I mean, it can wipe out your capital also in one
Yes, sir.
trade if you are not careful, right? So again, options trading is very, very risky, right? And
बहुत
nothing
इसके
that I
यहाँ.
teach is, everything that I teach is only for educational purpose to train you how to look at the market. I don't give tips. I don't give financial advice. Even I am not SEBI registered, so I'm not qualified also to give financial advice. But I teach you how to look at the market, how I look at the market, and how you should be also looking at the market the right way, right? Through my technical indicators and price action and other things, right? Gann concepts. So, okay, so see this. So this is the first clue. So I always prefer trading when the CPR is narrow. And the
Yes, sir.
reason is because you expect a trending move on that day. And as a buyer, I need a trend to make money. I don't want this kind of market where market is range bound. I totally avoid this kind of days, right? So, you will see this was relatively narrow CPR. We got a decent trend, but it was quite volatile, right? So perhaps you would have made money, but not a lot of money. For when the CPR is very narrow, those are the days that gives you the best trend and you make a lot of money. You can clearly see it here, right? And there are other factors which I teach in my advanced course about Gann timing factors. And if you add all those probabilities, you will know exactly why we got this trend, right? Now, that is something proprietary knowledge, so I can't disclose it publicly. But those who are in my advanced course, I definitely teach them. So this is basically based on the hint that I can give you is based on some sun cycle and the moon strength. So there's a lot of analysis, astro analysis that has to be done, and I show you how to do that using tools and software. And these are all free software, right? You don't have to buy anything. These are all freely available software on the internet, and you should be able to do that analysis. I teach you how to do that analysis, how to find these dates, right? Okay, so that is the basic indicator, the CPR. Then we have a few more components. We have the VWAP, because some people prefer using VWAP. You know what is VWAP, right? Volume weighted average price. But I prefer
Yes.
not to use it. It is there just for people who want to look at VWAP. So if you want to use it, you can turn it on. I keep it turned off, right? So VWAP is gone. Super trend is important. If you are a trend trader, the super trend is a very familiar indicator. I don't know if you have used in the past, but a lot of people, traders, like the super trend. But I use it with my own custom settings. It is not the standard settings, right? And that is based on my research that I've done. I have come up with these settings, right? Then this is the most interesting feature. I have a candle coloring feature based on some combination of super trend and Bollinger Band. Okay. So this will help you identify which side of the trend it is, right? Are you on an uptrend So you can see when you are in an uptrend, the candles are always going to be green. See, yesterday it was sideways, but all the candles were sort of green to orange, meaning it is an uptrend, and in the super trend is also intact, right? So for a while, towards the
Yes, sir.
end of the day, it just became minor bearish. Today, it opened this, and then immediately once this was taken out, right? Once this previous day high, basically in this candle itself, you knew that you had a trending day, and the astro analysis that I did also told me that it is supposed to be a trending day. Price action was also confirming that it is trending day, but because price took the support near the CPR and then broke above the previous day high. Previous day high break is very, very important for a trending move on the upside. Similarly, previous day low break is very, very important for a trending move on the downside. And when the range is
Done.
narrow like this, and that is the reason CPR is also narrow, the probability of trending move goes up significantly. Okay, that is purely on technicals. So both technicals and astro, the Gann principles was confirming the possibility of a trending move even before the day started. And hence, I was actually prepared, like a leopard waiting for a prey when the move will come. And then I add my Gann levels. And this is where the magic sort of starts, right? Because with these Gann levels, you know exactly when to enter and when to exit. For example, this was your entry level today morning because price to support at the pivot, and this is the first Gann level it broke. And this was the most important Gann level for the day, by the way. In fact, this is the most important Gann level for the entire month. I've already told this to my students. This Gann level, every time price comes here and bounces off, that's a long for the entire month. As many times price will come to this level and bounce, that's a long, right? That is the power of the Gann
Again.
theory. Okay,
Yes.
so now your long was initiated here, your first target was done here. Now this is the secret, and don't tell this to anybody, right? Because and this is what the top traders are using. Okay, now see, when your trade got executed here, your stop is your maximum stop is this, the previous Gann level. Are you with me? Your maximum stop loss allowed is this previous Gann level. Or since the day swing was here, you can even put it here, up to you. But I always advise initially you put it where you're supposed to, as per the framework and the theory. Then after the move starts, you can change it. Now see, within a few candles, you got your first target. Now imagine, and that is the reason I suggest 2 lakhs capital minimum, because you need to always trade with 2 lots minimum.
Yeah.
So, and for
Yes, sir.
that, you need 2 lakhs in your trading account, right? Because your risk per trade is only like 5,000 to 6,000 per trade. You cannot risk more than that. Your risk per
Yes, sir.
lot is like that, right? So that is the reason why you have to have that much capital, because otherwise, you will have emotions. When you see losing that, when you have 50,000 and you are losing 5,000, your emotions will come. But when you are having 2 lakhs and you are
Yes.
losing 5,000, then emotions are manageable. The capital is required to manage your emotions also. Are you with me? Now
Yes.
see, assuming that you entered with 2 lots here, you should definitely exit 1 lot here. First target, 1 lot exit, immediately pull the stop loss to your entry price. Done. Your job as a trader is done. At least this is the most important job of a trader. Protect your capital. If you learn how to protect your capital, if you learn how to survive while making profits, that's how money will grow, no? See, money doesn't grow in one day. Every day if you make small
That's
small 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 profits over 100 trades, 1,000 trades, you are going to make money. And that is the rational people
yes, sir.
don't understand. People want that
Yes.
hero zero trades, एक trade में हम 5 गुना कमा लेंगे, 10 गुना कमा लेंगे. And most of the time it becomes zero only.
वो नहीं हो पाता.
Hero तो नहीं होता. Hero 1 in 20 times happens, but that's a 5% probability, right? Do you want to play a 5% probability game, or do you want to play a 70% probability game? Whatever I explained, it has at least a 70% probability of success. And you are making money, you cannot make a loss on this trade. Do you understand that you cannot make a loss on this trade once you hit your first target? Are you able to
Ne-
follow?
Of
See,
course, sir.
I booked 1 lot in profit. That you understood, right?
Yes, sir.
I made this much
Yeah.
profit. I entered here. So both my trades are giving me profit. Lots is giving me profit, but I exited 1 lot in profit. And I immediately trailed the stop loss to cost for the other lot. So what happened? Even if the market reverses from here and hits my stop loss, 1 lot exited at cost. Break even, no loss, no profit. 1 lot already I
No
booked
loss. No.
profit. So overall I made profit.
Done, sir.
That is the secret.
Of course, sir.
That is the only secret. There is no other secret. And if you just do
That's
this one strategy, this one thing that tips that I'm giving you today, you'll be successful for the rest of your life. Now, there are many other things that I will teach you, but this is the basics. If you don't understand these basics, you cannot become a trader, because this basics is about how to manage your mind and emotions and risk. So both my indicators is helping you do that. So one indicator is telling you where to enter, where to exit, the Gann levels. The other indicator is helping you stay in the trend, right? So as long as it is green, you know it is a uptrend, right?
apprehensive.
So your stop loss would have executed here, right? After this. See, when this target got hit, you should have trailed your stop loss here. That is a second thing. As and when you go to new targets, you should trail the stop loss to the target just below it. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to follow me?
Of course.
Are you here or you are somewhere else?
नहीं सर, मैं आपको सुन पा रहा हूँ, मैं सुन पा रहा हूँ
हाँ,
आपको।
तो देखिए, तो आपको दोनों लॉट में एक टारगेट मिल गया, इज इट?
हाँ सर, एक टारगेट मिल गया।
हाँ, तो देखिए अभी क्या किया, प्राइस ने यहाँ पे इस गैन लेवल पे रेजिस्टेंस लिया, राइट? तो फिर यहाँ पे सपोर्ट लिया, फिर यहाँ से फिर ब्रेकआउट लिया, तो यू कैन अगेन ज्वाइन द ट्रेड हियर, बिकॉज प्राइस रिवर्स
हाँ सर।
वन गैन लेवल। यहाँ से फिर से शुरू कर सकते हैं, यहाँ पे फिर 2 लॉट आप ट्रेड ले सकते हैं। योर स्टॉप लॉस इज एग्जैक्टली हियर, देन अगेन यू गॉट योर वन टारगेट, यू गॉट योर टू टारगेट, अगेन इट हिट योर स्टॉप लॉस, आपको फिर से एक टारगेट मिल गया। तो इधर एक टारगेट मिल गया 2 लॉट में, इधर एक टारगेट मिल गया 2 लॉट में, मतलब 2 टारगेट मिल गया एक दिन में,
दो
दो
टारगेट मिल
ट्रेड।
गए।
तो और एक एक टारगेट का प्रॉफिट इज रफली अराउंड, आई थिंक, इफ आई शो यू द लेवल डिस्टेंस, मतलब एक एक वन टारगेट इज रफली अराउंड 50 55 points or so, right? Options में maybe it will be like 25 points. So 25 points, you traded 2 times, मतलब
जी सर।
actually it's 4, right? So 2 lots 2 times means आपने
हाँ, टू
4 लॉट
टाइम्स।
का प्रॉफिट कमाया। 4 लॉट मतलब क्या, 75 into 4, right? That much quantity you traded for, let's say 25 points आपने प्रॉफिट कमाया। I'm just taking the minimum. Actually, you'll be surprised when I show you the options chart how much profit you will be making, but this is the bare minimum. 7,500 आपने कमाया, राइट?
जी।
राइट, 7,500 ऑन ए कैपिटल ऑफ 2 lakhs,
2 लाख।
राइट? दैट इज हाउ मच रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट, दैट इज योर।
अप्रोक्स। हाँ, 3.5%।
तो एक दिन में आपको 3.5% मिल गया एक ट्रेड में।
हाँ जी।
तो ऐसे आपको अगर 30 दिन मिल गया तो हो गया ना पैसा डबल।
हाँ, और सर थोड़ा थोड़ा ही इससे बड़ा होता है।
तो आई शोड एब्सोल्यूट मिनिमम, आई एम सेइंग इवन देन, इफ यू डू 2-3 months ऑफ ट्रेडिंग, आपका पैसा डबल हो जाएगा, provided you follow the risk management framework that I am showing you.
जी
Okay,
सर।
see, it's all about,
जी।
see, I say that maybe for me to teach the course it is going to take 5 hours, right? But for you, you need to practice 500 hours if you really want to become a trader. Minimum 20 hours आप दे सकते हैं every week, right? So maybe about 80 to 100 hours a month, right? And 5 to 6 months, it's about roughly 500-600 hours, right? That is the reason I say 5 to 6 months is required to make a trader. If you can follow one strategy, one time frame like Nifty 2-minute time frame, using my setup for 6 months, I can guarantee you that you will become a profitable trader. And if you learn my advanced concepts once you are with the basics, then you will have a lot more things in your power, right? I mean, it is almost like those precise BrahMos
सर
missiles.
आई पे फॉर 20,000 है ना, मतलब अगर मैं 20,000 रुपये पे करता हूँ और आप मुझे जो 5,000 रुपये का टूल्स देंगे, सर वो टूल सिर्फ एक ही चार्ट, मतलब एक ही स्ट्रेटेजी का होगा, या जो आपके 3 टूल
Just
आपने बताए हैं वो
once
तीनों
again,
होंगे?
तो प्राइस के बाद थोड़ी देर में आते हैं। You tell me whether you have understood the strategy, and then we will discuss what it takes to do this course.
ठीक है।
स्ट्रेटेजी के बारे में कोई कंफ्यूजन है, समझ में आया?
नहीं सर, हाँ वो आया सर।
समझ में आया तो ठीक है, just give
जी
me a
सर।
moment. So I am stopping the recording and then we will discuss your specific concerns.
ठीक है सर।